gone wrong.
If you're watching this video, it's because your professional contractor has recommended a BrassMaster Plus Clear 500 water softening and filtration system by WCC for your home or business. A water
Every one of those videos is attached to your water test report, just so you know. And I was just telling Jeff this morning that we just recently got you guys signed up on our Platinum Partnership Program. So in your portal, all your water test reports are going to be stored for a year and a half. Right? We know consumers are going to go, okay, I can't afford it right now, but 6 months down the road, we're going to call you, go ahead and order. We also made a bunch of videos to start up every single product we manufacture, and another set of videos to troubleshoot. Just so you know, all that stuff is in your portal today. Okay? Any questions on water testing before I move on? Okay. I do want to point out one thing, that we are not a registered or certified lab by the state of Minnesota. It's really not our industry. What I mean by that, when the water driller drills a hole in the ground, he's got to pull that water out. He sends it out to a certified or a registered lab by the state. They're testing for 3 things: arsenic, nitrates, coliform bacteria. Today at WCC, we're testing for arsenic and we're treating it. We're testing for nitrates, we can treat it. Coliform we don't test for, it's a different ballgame, but we can treat it. Just so you know. Okay? Make sense? Okay. All right. So, how does a water softener work? Well, inside this tank, there's a product called resin. Tiny, tiny beads, right? As your hard water goes into that tank, it flows through those beads to the bottom of the tank. It's an ion exchange process. Your hardest ions are going to stick to the resin bead itself. The sodium ions are going to be released into the water. The water goes down to the bottom of the tank. Soft water goes in the tube, up and out, and feeds the house. Okay? After so many gallons of water goes through that, we got to regenerate it, we got to rejuvenate it, we got to clean it. Okay? And you have 4 cycles for the water softener generation. The first one's called backwash. We're reversing the flow in the tank. We're pushing water down the tube, it's coming out the bottom, and we're lifting that resin bed. Any sediment, we're going to push it out to the drain. That's about 10-minute cycle. The next one's called brine and rinse. We're going to bring salt water, right? We got a salt tank over here. That salt water is going to come up. It's going to go into the head, through the injector, through the screen, and we're going to inject salt water into the tank. Now what's happening there is the opposite. The hardness ions are going to fall off. Sodium ions are going to stick. The hardness goes down to the bottom of the tank, comes up the tube, and out the drain line. The third cycle is called rapid rinse. It's just a reverse backwash. We're going to push the water through the resin, give it a final rinse. And the fourth cycle is called brine tank refill. We have to put fresh water in the brine tank to dissolve salt for the next generation. So for every gallon of water you put in that brine tank, you dissolve 3 pounds of salt water, so saturated can't dissolve it. The whole cycle takes about an hour, hour and a half. Okay, give or take. Wastewater is about 50 to 60 gallons. And you are going to get this question tossed at you. How much salt are we leaving behind, right? People are concerned about sodium in their diet. The answer is, with our softeners, you're going to leave about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of salt behind. We have to, because we're ion exchanging, right? Hardness for sodium. Diluted over an average meter setting of 1,000 gallons of water. Now, realistically, here, put more salt on the French fries, right? But it is an issue. So, what you can do, you can switch them to potassium pellets. Okay? Grocery stores sell potassium pellets instead of sodium pellets. Right? Bananas are full of potassium. So you can look for it, but that's the answer if consumers are asking you. We'll just switch them to potassium pellets. Okay? Make sense? Any questions on how a softener works?
Yep.
that's a great question. There's no testing data that shows that. My belief is I would say yes. All right. And the amount of water that you can actually put through a water softener is based on how much resin's in the tank and the hardness of the water. But average based on a family of 4 and 1,000 gallons of water. Okay. Anything to add? Okay. All right. So we made 2 different series of water softeners, real quick. A BrassMaster, a BrassMaster Plus. Okay, kind of a Chevrolet Cadillac. 32,000 grain capacities, a little less resin, 35, a little more resin in the tank. 10 to 12 gallons per minute service flow, 12 to 15. 3-year warranty, 5-year warranty. Okay. All of our specialty filters that we're going to talk about next, it's got the nickel plate casting with the jacket and the 5-year warranty. Okay. The other big change between the two of them is this has a 3/4 riser tube inside the tank. This is 1 inch. So you get a little higher service flow, a little less pressure drop. Right? My point is, if you're going to put a well water piece of equipment in before this, say an iron filter or something, let's get the 1 inch tube. Don't go down there and choke it in with something small. Keep it consistent all over.
And Dale, you do have an economy option basically back there.
This one? Yeah. Yeah, so we also, I was talking to Jeff about this morning, we also have another product called the Dakota Series. This is very price competitive. It's to compete with the North Stars of the world. It is a clack valve, okay? Plastic, got the bypass valve. We will have fittings on here. I'm just telling these guys this morning, we now have just found out yesterday that there is a ProPress adapter with this. This is an option for you, okay? So, more to come on that. Jeff will have to get pricing on that for you. Really, there's only 2 valve manufacturers left, guys. It's Pentair, which is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You have the Black Valve, which is out of Madison, Wisconsin. Tank is a tank pretty much. Okay. That will be another day of training, so on and so forth if you want to do that. Okay, any questions on softeners? Yes.
If your line coming in the house is 1 inch, would you see a drop in pressure if you put in the regular BrassMaster because that here is 3/4?
Great question. So, all of our units today come with a stainless steel bypass valve, okay? 1 inch. So the answer to your question, if you got 1 inch coming in, you are going to drop it down a little bit, okay? Typically through a water softener, you're going to have 5 to 7 psi drop. If you have 1 inch coming in, you may have an 8 to 9 psi drop.
So it would make sense to like sell the plus, but
Plus,
you could tell the customer you could do the other one, but you would want to tell them you might see that pressure drop more than expected.
possibly. All depends on what they're pulling upstairs, right? They got full body sprays and so on and so forth, it's a different scenario, right? But if they got all basic, people.
One quick question on resin, if you don't mind. Just kind of wondering if, like, all resin is created equal, as it were, and it's just the amount of resin in a tank, or are there,
Different grades?
Yeah, grades.
Okay, great question. So we as a manufacturer, okay, because we build, we're not the cheapest softener manufacturer. We don't want to, we're the Cadillac, we're the Mercedes, okay? There's different medias that you can buy to put in these tanks. We as a manufacturer, when we buy, look at resin for water softener, you can buy a 5% crosslink resin, all the way up to an 8% crosslink resin. And 8's the best. 8 will last it only 25 years. A 5% crosslink resin, that is 12. Okay? So, you know, the Menards water softeners, the water box, pretty much disposable, 8, 10, 12 years. Part of the reason is that's why. Right? We don't want you guys to have problems inside that tank. It's just a pain to change it if you have to. So, BrassMaster Plus. All of our units are available in a 2-tank unit where the salt tank is separate, or a cabinet model designed for space saving applications. That's the whole series, BrassMaster Plus. We'll talk about service in a few minutes. APM, that stands for Assured Performance Monitoring. We developed this valve 38 years or so ago, and the whole concept is, back in the day, most plumbers, they did not want to stand in the basement with their water softener apart. We get it. With ours, you can bypass it, pull the 2 pins at the base of the valve, pull this pin out, pull the head off. That's our APM. Go in, put a new one on, get in, get out, all that. That's our APM, Assured Performance module. We're going to talk about the characters that we just came out with. Okay? All right, let's talk about some of the other fun stuff. Let's start here with our Megabyte iron filter. Here again, this is NSF 42 certified for iron and rotten egg smell in water. Okay. I can't talk enough about this. We've had this particular Megabyte iron filter on the market. I think we're going on year number 23. We sell a lot of iron filters. We got high iron. We got a lot of rotten egg smell. This would be a piece of equipment that would go in before a water softener. Okay? And there again, that would be on that water judgment report. So, if you check that rotten egg smell on that form in the bottle, we're going to automatically recommend one of these iron filters. You know that's what it does. Just so you know. Okay? Just FYI, when you have heavy iron and rotten egg smell in water, you have to bring oxygen into that water, somehow, way, shape, or form, to precipitate it out and then remove it in the solid form. So what we're doing there is we trap an air pocket at the top of the tank, the water comes in, we get the air pocket, precipitate it out, it goes down through the media, which is a dioxide media, up, and we'll go into a water softener. We set those to backwash every 2 days, and they backwash with water. So they are chemical free. Okay? But if you ever come across the iron filter application, don't run from it. Okay? We sell a lot of iron filters. We do this residentially, and we also do this commercially. We do a ton of volume dairy farms all over the upper Midwest. Just so you know. Any questions on an iron filter? Yeah.
So, if a customer has high iron and they don't have an iron filter, what is the expected life expectancy drop on the median of those supplies?
Great question. Depends upon the usage and depends upon what their level is. So back in the day before we had this, we were taking out 8 parts of iron, which is 60,000 grain capacity soft. That was really pretty much all we really had, right? And the problem is you got to regenerate 2-3 times a week. What we try to do when a water sample comes in, based on the information that you provide in the form of the bottle, we're going to try to design a system, primarily a softener, to regenerate once a week. Right? There are others out there that will come in with a smaller softener, but you got to backwash 2 or 3 times a week. Right? If you're on city water, you're not saving that system or anything. Sewer rates are going to kill us. All right, that's our Megabyte iron filter. I'm also still in raw water now. This is our Clear 500. This is a combination water softener, cannon filter, all in one tank. Right? There's one thing I want you guys to remember today when I leave is this. Iron is orange, cannons is yellow. Okay? Don't ever forget that. Cannons looks like urine in a bowl. Right? It's a common problem. 20 years ago, we never tested for cannons. Today, they're everywhere. Okay, about 85% of our well water samples come in with got cannons. Cannons will go right through a water softener. You have to use a different media to take it out. Just so you know. Okay? So if you look here, grid plate down in the middle of our tank where we can put multiple medias in the tank. So how many times have you guys walked into a basement and seen 4, 5, 6 tanks lined up and you stand there and you go, what the hell do all these tanks do? Right? You've been there, done it, right? Today, in WCC, the maximum order of flags. Just so you know, because of that grid plate. Any questions on the clear? So we get the question that comes up a lot where plumbers will go, homeowners will go to Menards or buy Home Depot, whoever, they'll buy a water softener. You guys will put it in. You got discolored water. You're gonna condensate it. Still got discolored water. First thing we're gonna ask is what color. 99.9% of the time you're gonna say yellow. Guess what? Nothing we can do. So it comes back to the test, right? The test is very, very, very important. Anything to add? No, going once? Okay, multi-mats. Now I'm in city water. Have you guys had a chance to put these in? Okay, good. So, on the water test report, what we were doing, we recommend the minimum would be the BrassMaster. The idea would be the BrassMaster Plus. Okay, today on city water, what you're going to see is the BrassMaster Plus softener being the minimum, and this one being the idea. Okay? So what this is a combination whole house face and odor filter, water softener all in one tank. Pretty cool. And there again, for listening. We make everything we do on specialty filters is either going to be a 10-inch tank or a 13-inch diameter tank. More resin, bigger homes. This one here I can't talk enough about. On city water, whether it be water with chlorine in it or water with chloramines in it. Okay? Anybody know what chloramines is? Anybody heard of it? Okay. Most cities use chlorine to disinfect their water. Up until about 15 years ago, they started injecting the ammonia with the chlorine, the worms, chloramine. Minneapolis is all chlorine water. And so on and so forth. A lot of people are switching to it because it's less money. They're finding on the longer runs, the chlorine is dissipating out of the water, so let's inject a little ammonia. Well, guess what they did? They fixed one problem and created a huge problem. So, where I'm going with this is there's a lot of different grades of carbons that we can buy as a manufacturer. If you go with the standard carbon filter and you put it on Minneapolis water, the standard carbon is only going to take out the chlorine. It will not touch the ammonia. So what do you think it's going to do to the ammonia? It's going to magnify it, right? It's going to pick up worse. We use a catalytic carbon that will take out both. So you know. Our media will last 7 to 9 years based on the family report. Just FYI. Okay. The city water, golden product for it. Okay. Any questions? I know I'm talking pretty fast here. We also make it in a LS version, which stands for less softener. Now, where can you sell that? Minneapolis. Yeah, Minneapolis, only 4 grams. You need a softener? Some would argue it. Still hard. 0.1 is soft. 2 is a little harder. 3 is a little harder. 4 is whatever. So you can put that in Minneapolis water. Or if you walk into a home and they have a softener, and they're complaining about the chlorine or the chloramines in the water, there you go. That'll backwash with water. We got a brochure you can read about chloramines too. Here's our element 33, arsenic. Certified for iron, hydrogen sulfide, and arsenic 3 and 5. A lot of arsenic out there, guys. So you as a consumer, how would you know if you had arsenic in your water? Well, no, right? So it's a standard test for us. And we're absolutely amazed at how much arsenic is out there in the water. We're working on a arsenic filter for city water that's got them, so you know. So, in this filter here, think of this, it does everything the megabyte iron filter will do. Backwashes with water every single night, plus the arsenic for about double the cost. So what you need to know about arsenic, there's 2 different types of arsenic. Arsenic 3 and arsenic 5. Our filter will take out both. I'm telling you this because in our RO unit, including ours, one number. We don't care how much 3 and 5 is in that, because that unit will take it out. If you want to go down that path to find out how much 3 and 5 is in that water, what we would do, there's only one certified lab in the state. It's up in Brainerd. They can do what's called a speciated test. They can tell us how much 3 and how much 5 is in that water. But I'm going to tell you this, of all the samples that we sent up there, 3 was the dominant one. You can't take it out with ROA. Okay, my point is, we have it, it's available. We send 5 water sample bottles along with that unit, just so you know, dealing with the homeowner. They'll send a sample in 2 weeks, comes to us, and then the other 4 are ones, 3, 6, 9, 12, they get 3 years worth of testing. Why are we doing that? Our underwriter insurance company wants to do number 1, and number 2, we don't want to get sued. We want to make damn sure that arsenic filter does what we say it's going to do, but we just want to stay on top of it. We take all that minutia away from you guys. If there's a problem, I will call you. Pretty simple. But we've got that dialed in. We've been treating arsenic for about the last 7 or 8 years. We sell a lot of arsenic, so you know. But you got arsenic in that water, and you're in the eyes of the consumer, trust me, we're going to get out. Okay? I won't bore you with this stuff. This is coming. This is from the Minnesota Department. As a result, the EPA has set a goal of 0 arsenic in drinking water. We know that's coming. So we're working on that as well. Nitrate, farm fertilizers, we can take it out, or we make it in a combo unit, or we make it in a standalone nitrate filter. It's available. pH balancing filters, I won't bore you with that, because typically where you guys are doing work, your water around here is pretty well balanced. 7.0, 7.5. Get up along the North Shore, they pull that water out of the ground, comes out 9 or 10. There's pockets over by over there, it's very acidic water, and so on and so forth.
Question on those combo units, because the media takes up, the media on the standalone units takes up a certain amount of space. I would assume that they, on combo units, you're getting less of each kind of media in there. How much does that negatively impact the filtration of that? How much more quickly does those painting of work properly on those combo units?
You talking about carbon filter? Or all?
Because on many of the combo units you have, instead of just a single group of media, so like on that one, I don't know how accurate the image is, but on that one, on your left hand single unit, half that, on the right hand single unit, half that is filled with a single media. On the left hand one, third to a quarter of it is filled up with that media and another kind of media in it. So you have less of a specific kind of media.
Yeah, it's all based on contact time, right? The slower you can run that water through the tank, the better you know what you're going to get. Okay. This one here happens to be a standalone. Obviously, yeah, you have more surface area, but that's already been engineered at our place, and based on the water test report when it comes in, we're going to size it accordingly. If the nitrates are higher, then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bigger tank to give you more surface area. Good question. All right. We talked about this a little bit earlier. This is called our Northwoods. It's actually this size of softener that's actually inside of a brine cabin. Now, not just for cabins, RVs, whatever the case may be, but you got a little old lady living by herself in a townhouse in Maple Grove, and you have no room to put softener. Put that on the shelf. So it does have, it's market, we're seeing more and more of that, right? Yes, so 12,000 grain capacity, think of it this way. If it's a 12,000 grain capacity softener, you got 20 grains of hardness. By the hardness in it, so 12,000 divided by 20 is 600 gallons of water. If it's a 32,000 grain capacity, you get 20 grains of hardness, you get 1,500 gallons. So just remember that formula when you're sizing that. So based on a family of 4, 20 grains of hardness, you're going to get, each person's going to get roughly 50 gallons of water for dinner every 2 days. So it's a little old lady living by herself again. Yeah, you have a question?
I was gonna say, is the installation pretty standardized with like the Northwood softener?
Yeah.
versus other ones?
Good question. You're going to have your in and out the drain line, and you'll need a power supply. Pretty same thing, just smaller. You're also making it a garden hose connection one if you want it for your camper or your boat. about the iron filter, right? So what we did is we brought the iron filter over on the irrigation side, and now we can take iron out of irrigation lines. Pretty cool. How many times you guys go around the neighborhood and seen iron? Everything's stained, right? That's a problem. And I can tell you something. What guys are doing in the irrigation world today, they're injecting rid rust into the irrigation lines. It's a problem. Here, you don't have to do that. So don't be afraid to talk about it with customers. All right. I won't get into this. We can do iron bacteria. This one here. PFAS, PFAS, and lead. You guys get a chance to put any of these in? No? Okay. PFAS and PFAS are big buzzwords going on right now, which are the forever chemicals in the water, right? Cottage Grove, Woodbury area. 3M had all those barrels of Scotch Guarding stuff that leached out into the water. It's a problem. We've got a filter that is actually NSF certified for PFAS, PFAS, and lead. Now, lead, typically your older municipalities, homes are built in the 70s and the 80s. Those lead open joints, mains underneath the streets were all lead open joints. Flint, Michigan, all the people died years ago. It was the lead open joints on the water mains coming in. If you want a lead test, you got to ask for it on the form of the law. Okay? What this is, it's a tank with a filter inside of it. Pretty cool. And there's a cartridge on the inside of that. So it's got a little cap on it. You set it up top of the tank, you plug it in. The light stays green until 90,000 gallons of water. Then it turns yellow. When it gets 100,000 gallons, it turns red. You go out there, close the bypass valve, push the relief button, take the snap ring out, pull the cartridge out, put it in and stop. Pretty cool. We sell a lot of these. Robert's got it in stock now, so you know. So if you got anybody that's looking for that, we have it available. Today we have a whole all-star RO unit that you can put on a copper plumbing system. Wow, think of that. People have asked us for years, we couldn't do it. Why? Because an RO unit will take 98, 99% of everything out of the water. It makes that water corrosive, right? We found the technology that takes out about 90, 92%, and therefore the water is not corrosive. So, if you got somebody that says, you know what, I don't care what it costs, get the best water for my home, there you go. And we're also seeing people with underlying health conditions want the best water for their home. So it's very simple. It's got a skid, got a pump on it. You would plumb this in where you would typically hook up a water softener. Then you can put this on hard water, about 225 grams of hardness. So you don't need a softener. Okay, it's got water. If it's well watered, you gotta take the air out. Okay, if you have a softener, we're okay with it. You put soft water in this.
What about a chlorine level?
It's got a filter on it. Good question. So on the back of this, you can't see it. There is a chlorine filter for it. It's already built into it. So a little skid sits on the floor. It's got a 200-gallon holding tank, so you are going to need some footprint. The tank is 30 inches in diameter, roughly 6 foot tall. So the RO unit would make the water, put it in the tank. There's an ozonator in there to keep that water disinfected so it don't grow bacteria. They open up the faucet, you pull the water out of the bottom of the tank, the pump will kick in and pressurize the system for you. Pretty cool. That's becoming a popular. They're a little spendy, but if somebody wants the best of the water.
Because that has a holding tank, it's not using the city pressure or whatever pressure coming into it. It is pumping the water out and that's what's creating the pressure in the home.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, your incoming water pressure will feed the RO unit, and all this pump does is just takes the water out of the tank and pushes it.
Is there a max working pressure for like the city pressure to go into that pump at all?
I think the minimum on this is 30 psi operating, 25 to 30. It's minimum. It's hardly anything.
And you said a max of 25 grams, correct, for that?
Yep, up to hard is 25 grams. If they have a softener, use it. Leave it in. Tie it in after the softener. I just had a contractor tell me the other day, I don't know what his cost was, 10 grand, whatever. He installed it, And he was out of there, what, a day, the homeowner, it was $20,000 that he got. So there's some good profit to be made in this stuff. PS5, little simple RO unit. This will make 50 gallons of water a day. And for every gallon you make, you're only gonna dump 1.8 down the drain. Most ROs are between 4 and 7 down the drain. Soft water feed, just will last, based on a family of 4. You'll get about 2 years out of our filter. This is
You say 2 years out of that filter?
2. Soft water feed, yes. 2 years based on a family of 4.
Good
So
water.
in here you have 4 stages of filtration. You got your 1 carbon, 2 sediments, the RO, membrane. Water goes to the tank, it gets stored, and there's your 5th and final filter, which is just a taste and odor filter.
If the water's hard going in there, how much does that reduce the life on that?
Pardon me?
If it was hard instead of soft water,
Soft water.
can you have hard water going to that?
You can use hard water, but maximum range is 8. But the softer the better, the longer you're gonna get out of the filters. We have, you can put this thing underneath the kitchen sink, you mount it downstairs, you can push the product line about 30-35 feet with ours, if need be. You can piggyback, 10 gallon, 20 gallon, 30 gallon, 40 gallon tank if you need more storage. And we have pumps, you can mount this downstairs to push the water a little more if you want, it's available. We have one that kind of ramps up and ramps down, so it's not that on off where you're gonna get the water hammer. You know, some RO will do that. But anyway, it's available. Yeah.
Would you have, so you said that there's only, so high appliances allowed, would you have to type, so usually kitchen cold is water, most part. Would you have to tie that into a soft line somehow then?
You can, we recommend a soft line. You can't do hard. Don't go over 8 grams of hardness. Okay.
So,
Minneapolis water would be great.
alright, so if you're anywhere besides that, so you have to tie it into a soft line.
We have faucets available. Comes with a little chrome faucet. We also have a nice designer faucet. We made this simple. One cost any color with a heat up control. Okay. All these different faucets, they got cartridges or ceramic cartridges on the inside.
Do the faucets have integrated air gaps?
Yeah. All right. Faucets are available. Filters. Let's touch on filters real quick. We have a warehouse full of filters up there. I'm going to try to simplify this for you guys. When you go out and you look at one of these in a basement, you stand there and you go, what in the heck is inside this thing, right? And they're done. Let me try to simplify it for you. If you have equipment on a water softener, you have 2 different types of filters. You have sediment and taste and odor, right? Your sediment filters are going to be typically before the equipment. Your taste and odor filters are going to be after, right? You have 4 sizes, 2.5 by 9.5, 4.5 by 9.5, 2.5 by 20, 4.5 by 20, okay? Where it gets complicated on the sediment side of things is you don't know what's inside there, you don't know what the micron filter of that is. But remember this, the naked eye can see a 25 micron particle or larger. 25 micron particle or larger. So why would you go in and put a 5 micron filter? That's a pretty tight filter, right? You're going to plug it up. Put a 20 micron. Or put a 25 micron filter when it comes to replacement. Okay. I don't have one here, but on the taste and odor side, we've got a filter that actually is a canister that's actually got the carbon granular on the inside. Point being, less pressure drop, and they're going to last you a lot longer. We've all seen the ones that are paper that's got the screen wrapped around them, okay? They're great for about 10 minutes and then they're shot. All right. Yeah, here's what they look like right here. And we have cross-reference charts, Q&O, Amatec, we have all this stuff available. Water test kits, we have water test kits if you guys know water test kits. Water bottles are free, there's our water test report. Oh, you wanna do some advertising or something? You know, a flyer or something? We have some co-op money available. Typically what we do there is, you know, say you want $1,000 for advertising, we would do a three-way, us, you, and a whole city. Just throwing it up there. Platinum partners, we talked about that. Any questions, guys? I know I'm talking really quick here, but I'm on a time frame for your next meeting. Any questions or anything to add on product? Couple things. We do not have a retail price sheet on our products. We took that years ago, pull that. Why did we do that? You guys can charge whatever you want with our stuff. Bullet points, yes, we're gonna be more money. Brass, stainless steel. Another big thing, talk about in the eyes of consumers, play those videos. Number two, all this stuff is made right up in their backyard. That's a huge selling point. We're here to help. We've got a service department, like I mentioned, we've got you guys in tech, running around, we get every help. So, we're going to talk